We begin now on the top of Daf Yud Tes Amud Aleph in Maseches Brachos. This is Berachos Daf 19a. The Gemara earlier had mentioned that Rabbi Yonasan held that the Mesim do not know what is going on in this world, and the Gemara at the bottom of Daf Yud Ches Amud Beis said that Rabbi Yonasan changed his mind, and in fact the Mesim do know what is going on, and he proved it from Moshe Rabbeinu, where it says that Moshe Rabbeinu was to tell Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov that HaKadosh Baruch Hu fulfilled his promise and delivered us to the land of Israel. So the Gemara now wraps up the proof. If you think that they don't know what's going on in this world, ki amar lahu may have it. When Moshe Rabbeinu tells them, or the fact that he tells them, who cares? They don't know what's going on in this world anyway. But then the Gemara says, 1 second, Ela mai yadi. What's the alternative? They do know what's going on. Why does Moshe Rabbeinu have to tell them that HaKadosh Baruch Hu fulfills the promise? They should know anyway. So the Gemara explains, this gives an opportunity that they should give a thank you and say that it's good to Moshe Rabbeinu. And so this proves that Rabbi Yonasan holds that the Mesim in fact do know what is going on in this world. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak says, Kol mesaper acharei hameis. Anyone who speaks bad about a mace, ki'ilu mesaper acharei oven. It's really like speaking about a stone. It's nothing. So the Gemara says, Ika d'amri d'lo yadi. Some people say what it means is that if you speak about the dead, it doesn't matter because they don't know what's going on. V'ika d'amri d'yadi v'lo ichbislu. But some people say it means no, they do know what's going on, but they don't care. So the Gemara says, Ini, is it so? Rav Papa says, Milsa Basri de Mar Shmuel. There was once a person who spoke about Mar Shmuel, and the roof kind of caved in, it fell on him, and it cracked his skull. So apparently, it was a problem that he spoke about the mace. So the Gemara says, Shani Tzorba Me'Rabbanan, it's different by a Talmud Chacham, the Kutsha B'richu Tava B'Yikare, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu claims on behalf of the person's honor. Amar Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi says, Kol mesaper achar mitasan shel talmidei chachamim nofel begehenim. So it explains over here in the Mesoras Hashas, what does it mean, mitasan? It means that anybody who is its lashon hataya, kolomar not to miderech hayeshara. You say about a Talmid Chacham that he went off the good path. So if you speak that way about a Talmid Chacham, nofel begehenim, then you're going to go to Gehenim. Shenamar, like it says, v'hamatim akalkulosam yolichem Hashem es po'alei ha'avin shalom al Yisrael. Those who bend, that we're darshaning it, those who bend the doings of Talmidei Chacham, that it's evil, they go with those who sin. And what does it mean, Shalom al Yisrael? Afilu b'shasha Shalom al Yisrael, even in a time of Shalom al Yisrael, which might mean that even in a time when the Talmid Chacham is dead, is not alive anymore, Yolichem Hashem es po'alei ha'avin. Still, this person, Hashem brings them with those who sin. Tana Devei Rabbi Yishmael was taught in the yeshiva of Rabbi Yishmael. In Ra'isa Talmid Chacham she'avar avera b'layla al taharir acharav b'yom. If a person sees a Talmid Chacham do an avera at night, you shouldn't think bad about him, or you shouldn't think bad about him during the day. Shema asa teshuva, for perhaps the Talmid Chacham did teshuva. So the Gemara says, Shema sal kadaitach. You think maybe he did teshuva? Elavadei asa teshuva. Certainly he did teshuva, and that's why you shouldn't think bad. V'hani mili b'dvarim shebegufo. This applies by sins that a person does with his body. But if he saw him do something with money, then he's not forgiven. We don't assume teshuva until we see that the money has been returned to the owner. The Gemara continues, V'omar Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi. Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi says, B'chav daled mekomos bezdin menadin al kavod harav. There are 24 places where Bezdin will put someone in nidui, put someone in a chayrim, because of the honor of the Rav, v'chulan shaninu b'mishnasenu, and they are all taught in our Mishnah. Amar lei Rebbe Lozer. So Rebbe Lozer said to him, Heicha, where do we find these cases in the Mishnah? Amar lei said to him, L'chis sishkach, go and find, and you'll see that there are 24 places. So nafak dak ve'eshkach tla. So he went out and he found 3 places in the Mishnah where it talks about nidui al kavod harav. They are Hamizalzel ben Netilas Yadayim. There's a Mishnah about one who is Mizalzel in Netilas Yadayim. Hamisaper Achar Mitasan Shel Talmidei Chachamim. One who speaks about Talmidei Chachamim after they died. Hamegis Daito Klape Mal, and one who's arrogant towards Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Hamisaper Achar Mitasan Shel Talmidei Chachamim Mahi. What's the case of one who speaks after the death of a Talmid Chacham? The Tanan we learned in a Mishnah. Hu Haya Omer, he used to say, Ein Mashkin Lo Es Hagiores V'Lo Es HaMeshuchreres. So this is talking about Akavya ben Mahalalel. His opinion was that we do not allow a Giores or a Meshuchreres, which is a freed Shivcha, to drink from the Mesota. The Chachamim say, Mashkin, no, we do give them to drink. V'yamrulo, and they said to him, Maisa b'charkamis shivcha meshuchreres b'Yerushalayim. There's a story with Charkamis, a shivcha who was freed in Yerushalayim. Either Charkamis is her name or the name of where she was from. V'hishkua shmaya v'avtalyan, and in fact, they did give her to drink. So you see that we are correct. The Chachamim say that we are correct, that you are mashke, you do give to drink to a shivcha meshuchreres. V'amar lem, and he said back to them, Dugma hishkuha. they just gave her to drink. It was the simple explanation here is they gave her to drink a dugma. It was an imitation. It wasn't the real mesota. Another possibility, dugma means that they themselves, Shemayin Avtayin, were gerim. So dugma, they were similar to her. So that's why they did it. They shouldn't have done it. So the point is, anyway, it's considered disrespectful what he said. V'nidu, so they put him into chayrim. Umeis b'nidu, and he died while he was in chayrim. V'saklu bezin es aronu, and they stoned his casket. What's the case of one who degrades netilas yadayim? The Tanan we learned in a Mishnah. Rabbi Yehuda said, "Chas v'shalom shakavya ben mahalalo nisnade." Chas v'shalom in the previous Mishnah that we quoted, that Akavya ben Mahalal was the one who was put in chayrim. She'ein azara ninelas al kol adam b'Yisrael b'chachmo v'taro v'yiras chet ka'Akavya ben Mahalal. There's no person that the azara ever closed its doors upon who had as much chachma and tara and yiras chet as Akavya ben Mahalal. Ella esmi nidu, who was the person who was put in chayrim, as Elazar ben Chanoch shepikpek ben netilas yadayim. It was really Elazar ben Chanoch who was uncertain about the requirement of netilas yadayim. When he died, Shalchu Bezdin v'inicho Evan Gedola ala Rono. So when he died, Bezdin sent to put a big stone on top of his casket. L'lamercha, the teacher should call him misnade umeis b'niduyev, that anybody who is put into chayrim and he dies in his chayrim, Bezdin soklin es arono, they stone his casket. And finally, the third case that he found, Hamegis Daito Klape Mala Mai, who's the person who kind of acted arrogant towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah, Shalach lo Shimon ben Shetach l'choni hamagel, that Shimon ben Shetach sent to Choni hamagel, Tzarech atol lehisnados. You really should be in Chayrim. And Rashi explains, because Rashi, Tzarech atol lehisnados, lefi shehit shriach lefnei hamakom al esek geshamim. When he was asking for rain, Choni HaMagel made a whole bother to HaKadosh Baruch Hu how the rain should come. Lokach sha'alti kama pa'amim. He said, didn't I ask? Many times he asked him that it was this way, that way. Uchvod HaMakom chod haravu. So the honor of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the honor of a Rav. So that's the same idea. So he told him, really, you should be put in Chayrim. Tzarech atol lehisnados. Vil mole choni atan. If not the fact that you were choni, go zarni alecha nido, I would put you in chayrim. Aval ma es, but what should I do? Shata mischati lefnei hamakom v'osa lechoritzonecha geben shemischati lefnei aviv. You're like a son in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He does your will. V'osa lechoritzono, he does whatever he does for choni, whatever his will is. V'olecha marakasav. Pasuk says about you, yismach avicha v'yimecha v'sagel yildasecha. It's like your father and your mother rejoice over you. So now the Gemara says, V'su leka, are there no other cases? Do we have no other examples of nidoy al kavod harav? V'ha'ika detani Rav Yosef, there's the case that Rav Yosef taught, Tudus ish Romi hinig es b'nei Romi lahachilon gediyim mekulasin b'leilei psachim. Tudus, the man of Rome, he told the people of Rome to eat, on the night of Pesach, to eat these goats as a part of like the Karban Pesach. Shalach le Shimon ben Shetach. So Shimon ben Shetach said, "Ilmali tudas ataf, not for who you were. Gozani alecha nida. I put you in chayrim. Shata ma'achil Yisrael kachim bechutz. What are you doing here? You're in Rome and you're feeding Klal Yisrael kachim outside the Beis Hamikdash. So this should be an additional case." So the Gemara says, no, but Mishnah say no kamrinan. When we said to find cases, we said find cases in the Mishnah. V'habraisa, this is actually a brisa, so it's not a good source. So the Gemara says, well, we have another Mishnah. V'masnis and leko, there's no source in the Mishnah of iko hadetnan. There's the following case: Chotchu chulios v'nasan chul bein chulio l'chulio. Let's say they cut the oven into different pieces and place sand between the different pieces. So the question here is this oven tamei? Rabbi Eliezer mitayr v'chachamim mitamim. So Rabbi Eliezer says it's tahor, and the chachamim say tamei. V'zeu tanuro shel achnoi. This is the tanur of the snake. What does that mean? My achnoi. What does it mean? Achnoi. Amar Rav Yehuda Mar Shmuel melamed shekifu halachos kachnoi zeh v'timuhu. Just like a snake twists around and turns around, they surrounded this with all kinds of questions and halachos, and they said that it was in fact tamei. So the chachamim disputed Rabbi Eliezer about whether or not this particular tanur was tamei or not. V'tanya, we learned in a brisa, also hayom heviu kol taros shatir Rabbi Elazar. That day they brought all things that Rabbi Eliezer said were tar, v'sar from lefanav, they burned it in front of him. Ulevasof birchu, and then they put him into chayrim. So you see, they put him into chayrim, and the source is a Mishnah. So the Gemara says, afilu hachi nidoy b'masnis and lo tanan. Nevertheless, it doesn't say they put him in chayrim in the Mishnah. That is learned from an additional brisa. So the Gemara says, well, if that's the case, we only found 3. Where do you find 24? So the Gemara answers, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi medam and milsa lemilsa. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi compared one thing to another to find other examples. For Rabbi Elazar lo medam and milsa lemilsa, but Rabbi Elazar did not want to compare one matter to the other. He wanted to find it explicitly in the Mishnah. The Gemara continues, no se hamita v'chilu fehen. Tanur Rabbanan, we learned in a Brisa, Ein Motziin es HaMeis Samach LeKriyas Shema, we don't bring out the mace near Kriyas Shema, so that everyone can have a chance to say Kriyas Shema. V'im Hischilu Ein Mafsikin, but if they already began, they don't stop in the middle. Ini, is that really so? V'har Rav Yosef Afku Samach LeKriyas Shema. Rav Yosef was brought out near the time of Kriyas Shema. The Gemara answers, Adam Chashav Shani. Rav Yosef was an Adam Chashav. Adam Chashav, an important person, is different. Shalafnei Hamita v'shalachar Hamita Tanur Rabbanan, we learned in a Brisa, Oskim Behesped, those who are eulogizing Bisman shameis mutal lefneim, if the mace is in front of them, nishmatin echad v'korn, they should slip out one by one to read Kriyas Shema. Ein mace mutal lefneim, if the mace is not in front of them, hein yoshvin v'korin, they should read Shema. V'hu yoshev b'dom, and the aval should sit and be silent. Heim omdim umispalim, they should stand up and daven. V'hu omed umatz tegala v'esadin, but he should stand up and he should say that the judgment was correct. V'yomer, he should say ribon ha'olamim, he should say Master of the world, harbe chatasi lefanecha, I've sinned a lot, v'lo nifras mimeni. It hasn't been paid back from me 1 of 1,000. It should be your will that you should fix up all of the pirtzos, all of the cracks amongst the nation of Klal Yisrael. Amar Abaye said, "Lo mivoyle inish lamemer hachay." A person shouldn't say this. The Yamar Rabbi Shimon Lakish v'chein Tana mishmeid Rabbi Yossi liolam al yiftach adam piv l'satan. He said that a person who was taught in the name of Rabbi Yossi, and Rabbi Shimon Lakish said a person should not open his mouth to the satan. The Yamar of Yosef, Rav Yosef says, "Ma'ikra, what's the pasuk for the source for this? Shanema, like it says, Kimat kistom hayinu. It says we were like stone. Maya hadr lunavi. What's the next thing the Navi says back? Shimu dvar Hashem ketzine stone. Listen to the word of Hashem, the ketzine stone. So there's like they were poseach. PM Lasatan, they basically called themselves like stone, and the next thing you know, the Navi refers to them as stone. So the same thing over here. The Aval shouldn't say I sinned a lot because and I'm a sinner, because then it's like he's saying that he's giving a justification that the Satan can say, oh, even this person said about himself that he was a chote. Kavru es hameis v'chazru. So it says that they bury the dead, and then as they're returning, the question is if they have enough time to read the Kriyas Shema, they should read it. So the Gemara explains, Im yecholim lahaschil v'ligmor es kula in. It seems like it's saying that if a person can start and finish the entire thing, then yes, they should say it. Aval parak echad or pasuk echad lo. But one pasuk they shouldn't start. Or in a minute we have a contradiction. Kavru es hameis v'chazru. It says if they bury the mace and they return, im yechol lahaschil v'ligmor afilu parak echad or pasuk echad. It says even if they can finish just one parak or even just one pasuk, they should say that. So the Gemara says, Hachi nami kamar. This is actually what the Mishnah means. Im yecholim lahaschil v'ligmor afilu parak echad or afilu pasuk echad ad shlo yagiu l'shura yaschilu v'imlav lo yaschilu. If they're able to start and say even one parak or even one pasuk until they reach the shura, until they reach the road, the row, then they should say it. They should begin saying it. If they can't even say that much, then they should not begin to say it. That concludes Daf Yud Tes Amud Aleph.